Hey co-stars, welcome to another episode of Generation Films. My name is British Ben, and on this channel I usually make videos about any sci-fi franchise that has the word star in the name. My two favorite are Star Trek and Stargate, and this week when I was trying to think of what video I was going to do and which one of these franchises I was going to pick, I thought, wait a minute, why don't I do a video about both? You see, there are many actors who have appeared in both Star Trek and Stargate. If you look through the shows, there are probably about 20 instances of this happening. Now, for this video, I have cut out the ones that are kind of insignificant or only in one episode or not that interesting. Like, for example, did you know that everyone's favorite lieutenant and 1980s disco icon Reginald Barclay, played by David Schultz, also appeared in one episode of Stargate SG-1, playing the Keeper in the episode The Gamekeeper.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am the Keeper.
Keeper of what?
So I mean, that's cool, but it's also a very fleeting appearance. So I've cut out all the fluff and we're just gonna look at the most interesting ones. So this is 10 Star Trek actors who appeared in Stargate. Number 1, Ronnie Cox. You know how on Star Trek everyone above the rank of captain is evil?
How can there be an order to abandon the Prime Directive?
Prime Directive doesn't apply.
You cannot do that. If the Romulans see us decloaking, they'll
Tell her the truth, Admiral.
For what it represents, for what it should still represent.
How dare you lecture me?
Well, in the episode Chain of Command, Ronnie Cox plays Captain Jellicoe, who takes over command of the Enterprise while Picard is on an away mission and gets captured by the Cardassians and learns a new appreciation of ambient lighting.
There are 4 lights!
But anyway, since Jellicoe is a captain, not an admiral, he isn't really evil. He's just a bad captain.
You've got everybody wound up so tight. There's no joy in anything. I don't think you're a particularly good captain.
He was careless and kind of heartless.
Shouldn't we assume that he is alive until it's been proved otherwise? We cannot just abandon him.
He's gone.
But in Stargate, Cox is able to take his character a step further into Starfleet Admiral evilness kind of territory. His Stargate character is a United States Senator, Senator Kinsley, who later becomes Vice President, and he is constantly scheming against Stargate Command and the Air Force.
If you don't care about your own career, maybe you should think about your friends.
He resorts to blackmail on multiple occasions, and he almost gives control of the Stargate to the rogue intelligence agency, the NID.
I propose that we give this organization direct control of the gate, effective immediately.
And later, when he becomes vice president, he is still plotting to gain control of the Stargate.
The Stargate is being seriously mismanaged. It's urgent that we act now.
What are you talking about?
Then he hires Richard Woolsey to dig up dirt on Stargate Command.
Once I finish presenting the evidence, the president will have no choice but to follow your recommendation.
But in the end, Richard Woolsey figures out Vice President Kinsley's connections to the criminal syndicate, the Trust, and finds out all about the time that he blackmailed General Hammond to giving up control of Stargate Command, etc. He hands over the evidence to the president. And Richard Woolsey is played by our next Star Trek actor to appear in Stargate. Number 2, Robert Picardo. Robert Picardo played the Emergency Medical Hologram, or EMH, that was installed on some of the more modern Starfleet vessels, notably the USS Voyager, and he had a really memorable one-liner.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency. Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Is that enough, or do you want more? Here's some more.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Please state the nature of the medical emergency.
Oh, whoops, wrong guy. Anyway, like you just saw in Stargate, Robert Picardo plays Richard Woolsey, a former NID agent who turned against the NID and the Vice President Kinsley. He later served as the US representative on the International Oversight Agency and then headed the Atlantis expedition in season 5 of Stargate Atlantis. And his character was actually a highly accomplished lawyer.
Prior to that, I was an appellate advocate for Hartshorn and Slaughter, one of the most prestigious litigation boutiques in all New York City.
I love how Aquaman just doesn't know what's going on. There's a bit of an amusing bromance between them as the season goes on.
Mission report. Michael invaded Atlantis, tried to blow it up. We stopped him. End of report.
All right, moving on. Number 3, Marina Certis. Now this one's a big hitter. Everyone's favorite Starship counselor, Deanna Troi. I don't know why, but she wore a different uniform to everyone else on the show. Here's what that uniform would look like on the entire crew. I love the internet. I have no idea who made that image, but if you do, leave a comment below. I'd love to give them credit. Anyway, in Star Trek SG-1, Marina Certis plays Russian Dr. Markov, an envoy to SG-1 in the Stargate episode Watergate. Check out her Russian accent.
Sorry I'm late. Doctor, it's an honor. I've read your work. And I yours, Major Carter. I had hoped we would meet under different circumstances.
I don't know about you, but personally I still hear Deanna Troi. Anyway, she helps SG-1 investigate a water planet where a Russian SG team has disappeared in a submarine that almost gets depressurized.
What's that smell?
We've completely stopped.
Number 4. Reen Auberjonois. Reen Auberjonois. Reen Auberjonois played Odo in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. You know who he also played?
Les poissons, les poissons.
Yep, Chef Louis from Disney's The Little Mermaid. He was probably the best thing from an otherwise boring movie. I always remember him as the guy. Anyway, in Stargate, Reen plays Allah, the leader of a group of extraterrestrial racists who've locked themselves up in a bunker below ground while a diverse population on the surface carries out attacks against them. It takes SG-1 a while to realize that they're dealing with a group of eugenics-obsessed psychos. The first time he meets Teal'c, things are a little bit weird.
Who is this? Alar, this is Teal'c. You are not of their kin?
You think he's weird towards him because Teal'c is an alien, not because he's black. I don't know about you, would it be okay to be racist towards an alien? What's that, speciesist? Leave your moral comments below. Anyway, SG-1 quickly realized that the population of the bunker that they're helping to defend, who are frozen in stasis, are all Caucasian. And Allah and his comrades are always speaking about racial purity and kind of creepy stuff like that. And they basically realize they're fighting for the bad guys, and they get out of there. Number 5, John de Lancie. John de Lancie plays Q in Star Trek, who arguably is the real hero of Star Trek The Next Generation. Always teaching inferior humans a lesson. He's the one who introduced Starfleet to the Borg, and yeah, that doesn't end well. Anyway, let's talk about another very celebrated role that John de Lancie played. The voice actor for the character Discord in the My Little Pony franchise.
Chaos is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Not as wonderful as friendship.
That was supposed to say Stargate. Look, it says here, Stargate, not My Little Pony. Anyway, in Stargate, he plays NID agent Frank Simmons, who has all sorts of shady dealings and eventually gets possessed by a Goa'uld. He steals the newly built ship Prometheus, but in the end he gets ejected out into space, which is followed by a touching bromance between O'Neill and Teal'c. Number 6, Colm Meaney. Irish actor Colm Meaney played Chief Petty Officer in Star Trek The Next Generation and also the Chief of Operations in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And in general, he is a lovely fellow, except for his hatred of Cardassians.
It's not you I hate, Cardassian. I hate what I became. Because of you.
It's not you, it's me. Yeah, I'm sure I've heard that excuse before. Anyway, for someone who is normally so smiley and friendly,
they love to see a friendly smile.
Yeah. Smiles. Okay.
The Stargate Atlantis character that Colm Meaney plays is actually quite the opposite. He plays Cowan, leader of the Janai. Now, the Janai at first appear friendly enough, simple farmers, until the Atlantis expedition realize they are hiding a secret underground bat cave where they're developing nuclear weapons to fight the Wraith and will step on anyone, even allies, in order to finish their bomb. While some of these characters are similar, Colm Meaney's character in Stargate Atlantis is very different to the character he played in Star Trek, as is our next one. Number 7, Connor Trenier. Now, Connor Trenier played Trip in Stargate Enterprise, who was the chief engineer on Earth's first Warp 5 vessel. In Stargate Atlantis, he plays Michael Kenmore, although that wasn't his original name, because Michael was actually a Wraith that the Atlantis expedition experimented on using a retrovirus to turn him into a human. Problem was, Michael found out what they did to him and overreacted. Well, I don't know whether you can really call that an overreaction. I mean, he did find out that he was genetically modified against his will. I think I'd be pretty pissed off if I found out that too. Anyway, Michael escapes and is set on revenge against Atlantis. He doesn't stop until he literally takes over the city. As you can see, Trenier spends a lot of time in makeup, but you do see the actor's face at the very beginning when he's first introduced in Atlantis. Our next one, though, is an actor who is heavily made up in both Star Trek and Stargate, so much so you might not even know it's him. Number 8, Armin Shimmer. Now, Armin Shimmer played Quark in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. You know, everyone's favorite conservative activist.
Taxes go against the very spirit of free enterprise.
The government needed revenues to fund the new social program.
Now, you may not know that in Stargate SG-1, Armin Shimmer played Antaeus of the Nox. You know, that guy who literally had a bird's nest on his head. Anyway, the Nox were a group of tribal people who were seemingly helpless, but actually very advanced. You see, their technology had developed along a different path to that of humans.
Maybe one day you will learn that your way is not the only way.
So he went from evil capitalist to a tree-hugging hippie.
Drugs are bad because if you do drugs, you're a hippie, and hippies suck.
Don't do drugs, kids, or you'll end up with a bird's nest on your head. Number 9, Tony Todd. Tony Todd played a load of different characters on Star Trek, and it seemed that he really loved the show. He actually auditioned 6 times before he landed the recurring role of Kern, brother of Worf. But you might not realize that he also played a Hirogen hunter in Star Trek Voyager, and an older version of Jake Sisko in Deep Space Nine. He was even considered for the part of Benjamin Sisko before Avery Brooks landed the role. Anyway, in Stargate SG-1, Tony Todd plays Haikon, leader of the legendary Soldan Warriors, a breakaway group of Jafar who lived in secret. But unfortunately, Haikon gets taken in by an Ori prior, leading his people into their messed up religion. And now our final Star Trek actor who appeared in Stargate. Number 10, Jolene Blalock. Now, Jolene Blalock was voted the 10th sexiest woman in the world in 2003 by FHM magazine. And that's really amazing. I mean, there's 3.5 billion people in the world. It's an incredible operation FHM magazine must have to go through all of them and narrow it down to just, I mean, it's incredible. So hats off to them. Anyway, Jolene Blalock played T'Pol in Star Trek Enterprise. Remember the famous decontamination scene in the first episode? It was probably just to use a bit of sex appeal to attract viewers to watch the pilot. It was her and Trip, aka Michael from Stargate, rubbing gel all over each other's bodies in this dimly lit room. If only she knew what a monster he would become.
You can come with me and live or remain here and die. Either way, I'm taking your child.
Anyway, in Stargate SG-1, Blalock played Ishtar, leader of a group of female Jafar who were opposing their system lord Moloch. Things start off a little bit tense between her and Teal'c with this sparring match.
Do not hold back, you will only anger me further.
But I guess he must have taken her on a tour of the decontamination rooms at Stargate Command, because it ends up like this. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Videos like this take a lot of research, guys. Watching episodes, finding clips, all that kind of stuff. So do leave a like or leave a comment. Tell us which one of these actors and actresses is your favorite. It really helps our video do well on YouTube. As always, please subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.